You know, it's so hot in here that my sweat's causing my clothes to stick to my chair. That's how hot it is in here. Anyways, I'll get back to it right now. Brass taxes. Here we are. Before Casey comes to the band room, Stevie says something about if Casey would leave them without a singer, and Zender looks at her and says that he would too because it's a big opportunity possibly to comfort her. Yeah. And then there's the part about him looking at Grace. If he wasn't even looking at Grace at all. Oh, little tangent. They almost became Gravity 6? I didn't think that would happen this early in the season, but the fact is, they made me believe it could. So, at this point in the series, so like, that kind of blew me away. I mean, obviously, and it wasn't necessarily a cop-out that she ends up going back to the Perfs in the end. So, just not the right time. Think about the X-Men First Class moment. For those of you who haven't seen it, warning, you might want to skip ahead a few seconds. The point where they go see where Charles Xavier, played by James McAvoy, and Eric Lensher, played by Michael Fassbender, go to see Wolverine, played by, in a cameo appearance by Hugh Jackman, in the bar. They approach him. I'm Charles Xavier. I'm Eric Lensher. Go fuck yourselves. And then I remember laughing out loud that part and just saying quietly, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Yeah. And after Cedo said he wanted them on okay. Skip. When Casey greets them, Xander looks at Stevie, concerned to see how she reacts. When Casey announces that she's back, Zevie do double takes at each other, filled with joy. Okay, now you're calling them by their ship name. Okay. Whatever floats your boat. When they all group hug, Xander pulls Stevie in with him to hug Casey. When they are all hugging, Stevie's arm is directly around Xander's waist while Casey's is up higher. Stevie was ready to defend Xander when he got into a fight with Kevin. Stevie lays a hand on Xander's arm, almost pulling him away. Xander and Stevie were talking after the Perfs enter and told they won. Right after Xander says the Perfs put on a good show, he looked at Stevie innocently, but cute. Alright, that's all there is. And also there's some like good fan fiction here for you guys. Interestingly enough. Some surprising stuff. I mean, there was actually this like 14 soon to be 15 chapter one of Zolly, and it actually was so incredibly deep. I mean, at a certain degree, the characters didn't act the way they did in the story, but at the same time. And then How to Rock a Road Trip. I mean, that one is it's very deep, and at the same time, it's gonna please hardcore Zevie fans tremendously. And Too Young, that was the follow-up one that involved after Stevie got pregnant, she and Xander have a little girl named Addie, and so then they're trying to raise her. That one didn't end up being completed because the author didn't know how to continue on with it. And I tell you, hardcore Stevie fans out there, you haven't already read How to Rock a Road Trip, you're going to be wowed. You're going to be amazed. And I'm sure you'll find it somewhere online, somewhere on the fanfiction website. Unleash your imagination. I'm thinking about getting my own account and writing my own stories. And then provide you guys with the links. Or you guys could... yeah, because then you'd have an easier time finding them, I suppose. And... let's see. Well... Zevie... the writing is very impressive. I'll definitely say that much. And also the way that they're always being set up to be always in close proximity with each other. Yes. Definitely. One little quick other note, unrelated, that I want to just quickly jump on. And for the record, my final thoughts on Zevie. It had great potential. It definitely could have been something special. I wish we could have gotten the chance to see it. And I'd say the same for Zolly too. And I'd say the same for actually Grace and Nelson Grelson was kind of got on my nerves at first too, but then that grew on me. So the fact that it was always just blatantly being hammered into there each and every episode, it grew on me. The whole show grew on me. Despite against my better judgment, it grew on me. I enjoyed it. I really just got sucked in. And then I've seen the episodes of Third Rock from the Sun, and it's very funny. So yes, I can see where David M. Israel got his sense of humor from, to a certain degree. I suppose it definitely existed long before Third Rock, so there you go. And one last little quick note. The best section of How to Rock Steelo, if you ask me, the section involving the first half, with them running around trying to get into the concert. Because you know what? Unlike how iCarly, I Go to Japan, they didn't make it unrealistic. They didn't make it, like, totally unbelievable. They actually made it's generic, obviously, because it's been done many times before, but at the same time, they made it something. They made it actually entertaining and enjoyable and believable. And then just Samantha Boscarino, Molly's reactions when Gravity 5 is on the stage, shows up on the stage, and then they perform. This cannot be happening. That should have been the final nail in the coffin right there, but hey, it wasn't. Surprisingly enough. I mean, and I keep thinking about Run to You playing in her head over and over again. And then she has to learn at some point that that she's not perfect. She has to accept it. I actually had a couple episodes ideas. At one point I had an idea called How to Rock an Alliance, but I didn't end up sticking with it because I found out it was about an idea of like Gravity 5 and the Perfs teaming up together, and then I found out about How to Rock High School Sensation, which will be coming up September 29th, so on Nick, check it out. So I don't really have any necessary need for that idea any longer. Plus I got a couple other episode ideas. Well, I'm done with Nick for good. That's one of the blog posts on the show. Yeah. I'm sad too. I am. I know I've said it many times already, but I haven't gotten any responses to my ideas yet on IMDb, but at the same time, I hope I get something at some point. So my ideas were this. How to Rock a Bathroom. Nelson gets stuck in the Perf's bathroom and Grace and Gravity 5 have to get him out before Molly finds out. I would have like fleshed these out more. In fact, I would have probably put them on fanfics. And you know what? I would have done one version that was more Zevie focused, and I would have done one version that was more Zolly focused. And then I would have done the same for this one too. How to Rock Going for Broke. When Molly's parents' savings are drained, she must accept her own imperfection when her social status starts to suffer. That would have been one I would have loved to see. And How to Rock a Bathroom, that actually could have gotten some real good screwball moments in that one. So one last little point of How to Rock Steelo that I wanted to cover. Usually, if Gravity 5 didn't have... Either way, whether they had Steelo or they didn't at the end, Gravity 5 would have won Battle of the Bands. I can't stand that. That's a cop-out. Every time, like, the better band, the good band, the protagonists lose because some technicality gets them disqualified. I hated when they did that with Spectacular, and not to mention because Tada's song On the Wings of a Dream was better than Spectacular's Something to Believe in. So, in this case, Crazy's a better song than Rules for Being Popular. So, it's a given who actually won. And you know what I would have liked more about Spectacular was like if they didn't disqualify Spectacular at the end, and then Tada won fair and square. That would have meant they acknowledged the fact the song was better. So I mean, it's almost like the ending of. We're accepting of the ending of Rocky because at the same time, like, it's too close to call in that sense, whether it was Rocky or whether it was Apollo. And with Bring It On, the same thing. It's too close to call whether or not it was the Toros or the Clovers. I suppose if it had been the Toros at the end, I think it would have showed the fact that they won by stealing somebody else's moves, but at the same time, they were able to make it on their own and win with their own moves as well, their own original moves. Although it actually kind of somewhat has a better it's a more of a personal victory than an actual victory, in the sense that the Toros didn't win. Because like Lake Torrance Shipman, played by Kirsten Dunst, says at the end, after she's asked by Cliff, played by Jesse Bradford, second place feels like first. Yeah, because it was more about the personal victory then. And I realized that was what they were going with Spectacular too, but at the same time, just didn't fly. Just didn't. It's okay here, because you know who's better here. And also at the same time, it's a personal victory because they perform with CeeLo. They don't need the Battle of the Bands trophy. They really don't. Well, that's all I got for tonight, you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this 3-parter, and hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys. I'll be back with something different next week, or at some point later on this week. I'm not sure when exactly, and I'll come up with something. Thanks for watching, you guys, and thank you for your patience and for your I can't remember the word. Now if you'll excuse me, I must return to my home planet. I don't even know where that joke originated from. I really don't.